The Biden re-election campaign is looking at accepting crypto donations. This comes as Donald Trump has been meeting with Bitcoin miners and different Bitcoin companies across the United States, pledging his support to them. And Terraform Labs and Do Kwon agreed to pay the SEC $4.5 billion. But will Gary Gensler pocket this money, or will it go to the investors who actually lost money? We're going to break this down and much more. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we got huge news to talk about. Please watch and listen to the end because it's all big news. First up, we got the inflation data from the Fed today, and it fell to 3.3%. So it came in lower than expectations. That's a good sign. Now, the Fed had their FOMC hearing where Jerome Powell said they are keeping rates as is, and they're not changing anything. Rates will stay at 5.5%. So today was incredibly volatile for the markets. Bitcoin pumped, then dumped. And just like I said yesterday, it's volatility squared, right? It's always volatile the week of these Fed hearings and so forth. So we got to let the dust settle here to see what Bitcoin's going to do next. The DXY was breaking down and then it started pumping, then it's breaking down. It once again, just madness, right? So I'm personally not even like trying to pay attention to these charts because we got to let things calm down here and we'll see how things play out next week. But overall, from a macro perspective, this is not bearish. And I know some people are going to say, well, he didn't say anything about when they're going to cut. That's fine. The markets are front running the cuts and we are past the rate hike phase, meaning they're not raising rates. So capital is not going to become more expensive. It's going to stay as is and inflation's coming down. So that means these things running in parallel, they will eventually cut and go back to money printing. Now we've seen historically that the markets do sell off at around that time of the cut. The data shows that anytime the Fed pivots and starts cutting, markets are tanking, something is usually breaking. So I think we still see continued run up. And if you want proof, last year in 2023, as they were raising rates, Bitcoin and the crypto market rallied. This year so far, with rates paused, Bitcoin and crypto rallied. So the expectation here is that things will continue to move forward. So that's my takeaway from this incredibly volatile day. Now, folks, big news. The Biden campaign is in talks to accept crypto donations through Coinbase Commerce. This is according to sources being reported by The Block. President Biden's re-election team is in talks about accepting crypto donations. This comes a few weeks after Donald Trump began accepting crypto donations to his campaign through Coinbase Commerce. Donald Trump is putting the pressure on Biden and his campaign. The fact that they are exploring this shows they're scared because Donald Trump came out and said, I'm the pro-crypto presidential candidate. Vote for me if you want to be able to access crypto, if you want to protect your right to self-custody, which is in a direct contrast to what Elizabeth Warren is trying to do. Now, we know Biden is not the one putting out policy about crypto. I don't even know if he's even said anything about crypto. It's Elizabeth Warren. And the fact that his campaign is trying to do this shows they're scrambling. They're scared because there's a lot of money in crypto. We've been talking about this, right? A lot of funds being put into the PAC, the campaign PAC. It's called Fair Shake. Ripple, Coinbase, A16Z, and other companies have been donating millions. In addition, the Biden administration, being controlled by Elizabeth Warren, has come out so aggressively against crypto, they're going to lose the crypto vote, right? People are going to say, you're attacking the asset and technology that I'm invested in. Why the hell am I going to vote for you? And folks, if you donate crypto to Biden's campaign, you are shooting yourself in the foot. It's like you shooting yourself in the foot. Why the hell would you do that? They are trying to kill your gains. They're trying to kill as much as possible, to kill the crypto projects and startups so that JP Morgan and the TradFi incumbents can come in and take over. We've talked about this ad nauseum. So I don't know who the hell would donate crypto to Biden, but they would need to get their brain checked out. Now, the pressure, speaking of pressure that Donald Trump is building, folks, Donald Trump this week met with Bitcoin mining CEOs, even Bitcoin Magazine CEO, and he committed to supporting mining in DC. This is incredible. The man has come out and made it clear his position. He's the pro crypto candidate. He uses it. He has NFTs and all these things. And he has called out Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler by name, saying they hate it, right? And the fact that he's meeting with these folks is incredible. Now, you may love Donald Trump or you may hate him, but that put your emotions aside. Recognize the significance of this. A presidential candidate, a former president who once was against crypto, is now for it. So crypto is going to impact the elections. I'm not saying it's the number one, two, three, or four issue, but it is on the ballot. And a lot of Americans own crypto, over 50 million. And I've stated, if someone is trying to kill your investment and your ability to generate wealth and position yourself better in life financially, you're not going to vote for those folks. You're going to be angry at them, right? And especially it's a technology. It's just something you invest in. But this is what Elizabeth Warren's doing. And the reason why she's doing it is she's a puppet on strings controlled by Jamie Dimon and TradFi. And of course, her gimp on the leash, Gary Gensler, is doing her bidding. And we're going to talk about Gary a bit more. But folks, they're losing. They're on the losing side of history, Gary and Elizabeth. And the Democrats in their own party are turning against them. And here is Senator Cynthia Lummis tweeted out about the Biden administration today, saying that the Biden administration and Gary Gensler's unrelenting persecution of Bitcoin and digital assets is pushing the industry overseas and causing America to fall behind. We are the global leader in financial innovation. Let's act like it and provide the industry a home. Here, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, tweeted out a photo of him and some folks on his team saying, I met with more than a dozen Democrats and GOP senators in DC over the last 48 hours to discuss creating clear rules for the crypto industry and consumer protection for crypto users. There's strong bipartisan momentum to get this done in the Senate now that the FIT21 has passed in the House. Glad to see the voice of the crypto voter having an impact. So the crypto industry is working hard here, not only donating funds to pro-crypto candidates, but doing a lot of advocacy and education in DC. And that's what we need to do because, look, Elizabeth Warren is not giving up. Gary Gensler is not giving up. Now, like I said, they're on the losing side of history. They will lose, right? But we got to fight. We have to fight. As I've often stated, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. I think we're starting to see the transition from the then they fight you to then you win phase. Now it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but we've gotten some wins. But Elizabeth Warren is still controlling crypto policy in the Biden administration, and we got to fight it. We got to somehow get through to Biden. And I'm not trying to say I'm supporting Biden or Trump. It's just to get Elizabeth Warren kicked out and her draconian overreach and nonsense to be stopped. Now let's move ahead. We got news here that Do Kwon and Terraform Labs have agreed to pay the SEC a combined $4.5 billion to settle the civil fraud case against them. The settlement would also ban Kwon and Terraform from buying or selling crypto asset securities. Now, crypto asset securities, that's a Gary Gensler statement right there. There are many layers to this onion we have to peel away here. First up, Do Kwon is a scammer. So he has to pay his fine, and I don't know if he has to do jail time or whatever, but he's a scammer. We don't want scammers. We want to stop bad actors. So we have to establish that bad actors exist in every asset class, in every walk of life. That's human civilization, right? And they will try to come into an industry like this, which doesn't have the full legislation in place and take advantage of people. So we have to stop these things. Now, Do Kwon, Celsius, FTX, and so forth could have been stopped by Gary Gensler if he did his job, but he was too busy meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried in the back room trying to give him that broker-dealer license where he would have control of the crypto market in the United States. But Sam Bankman-Fried himself was scamming people, right? And Gary didn't do his due diligence. So these things here are now the cleanup of the legacy problems because Congress, because the folks who make the laws did not act soon enough. Now, you can't catch everything because bad actors will do bad things. Look, Bernie Madoff scammed people in a regulated market. He was on Wall Street scamming people. So you can't stop everybody, but you try to mitigate and reduce the amount of bad actors that can come in and scam people. But here's the problem. What will Gary do with this money? Because there are investors who lost money. Is Gary going to line his pockets with this money? Is the SEC just going to throw it into their coffers, right? Or are they going to actually help out the investors under their core mission of protecting investors? We've seen time and time again, the SEC doesn't care about protecting investors. It's about, can they grab headlines? Oh, we got $1 billion from here, but are they actually helping investors, right? It's pretty pathetic. And quite a few folks weighed in on this. Ryan Selkis of Masari says, if this doesn't immediately go to the victims, talking about the $4.5 billion restitution fund for investors, Gary Gensler should very literally go to prison for the rest of his life. Paul Grewal, chief legal officer at Coinbase, said it's predictably on brand to tout a settlement with Kwon and the now bankrupt Terraform totaling $4.7 billion. But the settlement just makes the SEC an unsecured creditor in the BK and now orders Kwon to hand over $7 million of assets he actually has. There's zero meaningful relief to fraud victims. This is no way to regulate. So as I've stated many times, the SEC has fallen far from its core mission of protecting investors. And boy, I would love to see where all this money is going that they're collecting, right? I don't know how to access it. Maybe I'm ignorant to the process. Maybe the data is out there, but I would love to see where this money is going. Stuart Alorati of Ripple weighed in saying the SEC again touting a big penalty, but the SEC actually will end up a creditor in bankruptcy court. See BlockFi as an example. The SEC has become a show regulator chasing headlines rather than good policy. So he's absolutely spot on here. Now, what's happening tomorrow is interesting. And I think this news was timed for today because tomorrow, Gary Gensler and CFTC Chair Rostin Benham will appear before the Senate Appropriations Committee at 10 a.m. to testify about their proposed 2025 budget requests. The SEC is asking for $2.594 billion. The CFTC asked for $399 million. Wow, that's a big dichotomy there of the money and funds they want. And we have actually seen, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where some members of Congress were saying they're not going to give Gary this amount of money. They're going to cut his budget, especially the budget around crypto enforcement, because he's been running amok. But let's see what they actually do. So that hearing is going to be tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'll give you guys the update, tomorrow once it's completed. And hopefully they keep Gary accountable, because he's going to tell lies. Elizabeth Warren probably already sent him talking points, questions and answers and so forth. We've seen this time and time again. It's corruption at its finest. So, guys, we got to keep fighting because the SEC is just out of control. But like I said, they're going to lose. They're already losing. Democrats are turning on them. And this is a global crypto asset class. And here's an example. The world's largest bank, ICBC, says Bitcoin retains this scarcity similar to gold. So crypto is becoming a force to be reckoned with. People can't ignore it anymore. As I've been saying, it's become ubiquitous. It is everywhere. Politics, TradFi, financials, investing, pop culture, society. It's everywhere now. You can't ignore it. And we saw this with the internet. As that technology rose, it started appearing everywhere. Same thing is happening here, folks. Now, as it's growing, we're seeing more capital being raised to invest in it, coming from VCs and different investment funds. So blockchain engineering group Equilibrium launches a venture unit, raising over $30 million for its first fund. We're seeing TradFi hedge funds and investment firms and VCs launching crypto funds and then new crypto funds popping up. So it's pretty incredible what's happening. So Equilibrium Group, a blockchain engineering company, has launched its venture capital unit, Equilibrium Ventures, along with its first early stage fund. Equilibrium Ventures Fund 1 is seeking to raise 30 million euros, about $32.5 million. The firm's first investment partner, Mika Honkasalo, told The Block about 20%, $6.5 million of that amount has already been raised in the fund's first close. Honkasalo said, I hope I'm saying that right, adding that the full close is expected by the end of this year. Folks, see what's happening? And this is not making major headlines on CNN and Fox and so forth, right? But capital is coming in. The average Joe and Jane is not paying attention. But you and I, who are early adopters, are on the side of smart money. We are positioning ourselves early, and we're buying the lows. We're dollar cost averaging in, and we're going to sell the euphoric blow off top. Now, those who aren't paying attention usually get caught up in what's called the dumb money crowd because they're not financially educated, because they don't take the time to research. They would rather go watch a Netflix show, a TV show, right? Nothing wrong with that, but you got to balance your life out, right? You got to maybe skip some shows for a month and research this thing and become educated about it so that you can make money. You can't just randomly buy something and think, oh, I'm going to make a ton of money. No, you got to educate yourself. It starts with knowledge. So we are seeing a ton of capital coming into this market. Now we got news here that MoonPay and PayPal crypto purchasing integration expands to include UK and EU customers. MoonPay's integration with PayPal has expanded to include customers in both the United Kingdom and 24 European Union member states. Clients of MoonPay can use PayPal to buy cryptocurrency. So we're seeing mergers and acquisitions, partnerships, global expansion, all healthy signs of a maturing, growing asset class. And I know some of you may be like, I don't even know what the hell MoonPay is. And you can go do your research on that. But the point is, we are seeing growth. We are seeing activity. We're seeing momentum. The infrastructure is being built globally, on and off ramps. It's going to allow for more adoption and for more capital to come into the market. Now, moving ahead, Tim Draper, who I'm actually trying to get on the podcast, he's a billionaire investor. He's been around for a long time and he's been investing in crypto for a long time. He tweeted out something today about Ethermail, and I thought it was fascinating. And I still have to do some more research around Ethermail, but here's what he said. I have loved email since I made an investment in Hotmail in 1996, sold it to Microsoft. In 2022, we made another startup investment into Ethermail, a Web3 email provider, which uses the blockchain to upgrade email to include payment, identification, and encryption. Now, millions of users are using their solution and they can get rewarded to receive promotional emails. It's amazing to see a transformation in email 26 years later. I wanted to share this on a couple of levels. One, the fact that technology is evolving, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, and that even things that we are used to, email and maybe text message, whatever else, will all be running on the blockchain to protect our privacy, improve efficiency, and to have better security, guys. So the fact that email can be improved on, and I think even social networks that we use need to go on the blockchain to avoid these bots and spammers and to weed them out. All that's coming, but we're seeing different companies are building these technologies. And I replied to that and I said, hey, Tim, I think something like this could get acquired by Google for Gmail. So it would be amazing for Google, which is probably the largest email provider, if I'm not mistaken, to just go acquire this company, integrate that technology. And this is what Google has done historically in Web 1.0 and 2.0. They went and bought YouTube, they went and bought this platform and that platform, and then they integrate it into their business. So as companies like Google become more prominent in Web3, they're going to upgrade all these things, email, file sharing, all these things. So pretty exciting what's happening. And I share this to reiterate that this is the future. This is the next layer on top of the internet, and different solutions and software and hardware and all these things are being built to transition us from Web 2 to Web 3. Now, final news item here, Ripple today confirmed that their stablecoin, its ticker symbol will be RLUSD. And they said it's a one-to-one USD-backed stablecoin offering transparency and stability on the XRP ledger and Ethereum coming later this year. I'm going to try to get some folks from Ripple to come on the pod to talk about this and go in depth on it. But this is big. It's a smart move by Ripple, especially as they are a regulated US company and they're looking to go public. And what they do is payments. So having a stable coin absolutely makes sense. And smart move by not only putting it on the XRP ledger, but Ethereum. And I know the XRP maximalists are going to go crazy because many of them FUD Ethereum unnecessarily. Even I understand the Bill Heyman thing. I understand Joe Lubin, but those are people. You may be upset about what they did, but Ethereum is just software. It's just a network. So you want to get as much exposure, adoption as possible. So I say that because I don't want you guys to get gaslighted by people who don't have balance. And, there'll be some YouTubers who come out, oh, Ethereum is the devil and all kinds of stuff. Yet Ripple's using the EVM, yet Ripple's going to issue their stablecoin on Ethereum. I keep it real with you guys. We gotta be smart. We gotta be logical and be balanced. You can be once again upset at Vitalik and Bill Hinman and all that. Look, I am, how the things were handled there, but I can separate them from a software, a network, right? So we got to be smart here. But smart move on Ripple's part in doing this. And I'm excited to see how this plays out and what market share they will have as stablecoin regulations roll out, because you got PayPal has a stablecoin on Ethereum, PYUSD, Circle has USDC, which is on multiple blockchains. And I think it's smart if Ripple does the same thing, put RLUSD on Avalanche and Polygon and whatever else. Just get it all out there. This way you can improve the adoption. So the future looks bright, guys. A lot of building, a lot of investing coming, a lot of capital. Very, very exciting times. Folks, don't forget to check out our sponsor, BitGo, which is one of the top tier crypto custodians in the crypto market, headed up by Mike Belchi, who's a Web 1.0 and 2.0 guy. And BitGo has been around for a long time. They're used by many big exchanges and hedge funds and so forth. So check out the link in the description. Also, don't forget to grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto, The Crash of FTX and the Rise of Safer, Stronger Digital Assets. You can grab a copy in paperback as well as in digital. And it'll be a great Father's Day gift. You want to get it for your dad. You want to give it to other family members who want to learn about crypto. And grabbing a copy really supports the podcast, guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.